Welcome back, folks. Obviously some things have changed. It's been about 16 to 18 hours since part 1 into part 2 here. And let me tell you what happened. I smoked the Sancho Panza. And I'd like to consider myself a guinea pig of cigars, the cigar guinea pig, because I can tell you from my very sensitive constitution what is mild and what is too rich. And last night the Sancho was too rich for me. So I spent a little time praying to the porcelain god, but I finished that cigar. So from my personal standpoint, if you're looking at getting a very first cigar and you haven't smoked a cigar before, if you want to look for a good cigar for you to try for the first time, that's not the one. I would get as mild as possible and then work your way up and then test your constitution. Trial and error. The errors may be costly, but it's worth finding out what's good for you and what's not good for you. And even though I enjoyed the Sancho Panza, the Dulcinea didn't agree with me. So that's where we're at. And the problem with working with a camera is that I have to charge the battery. So after part 1, I noticed the battery was getting a little low, and it takes a couple of hours to charge. And anyway, so that's where we're at. I just have the basic screen up, but I do want you to go to US debtclock.org and look at that, because it is startling. The numbers are unimaginable. I want to talk about what happened Thursday morning. Friday morning. The White House called the press corps, that's all the networks, and offered them a pool interview. And what a pool interview is when all the networks, your basic mainstream network and cable networks, they get together and they combine their efforts to do a one mic interview. It's like speed dating. Every news network gets a one-shot interview, and in this case it was the pay czar Kenneth Feinberg. And the White House got together and assembled the entire press corps and informed them that all of them can come and be part of the pool interview, except Fox. Now, the White House had an issue with Fox because Fox questions the policies of this administration. So, because the White House didn't like Fox, White House made a whole bunch of excuses saying they're not a news agency, they're an opinion agency, even though CNN and CNBC pretty much does the exact same thing as Fox, but because Fox is conservative, they weren't invited. That's my take on it, and I'm going to stick with that. this was so negligent on the White House's part and so clear that even the other press corps reporters saw that this was wrong and got together and pretty much told the White House, listen, if you're not going to give Fox the interview, then we're not going to do the interview. Even they, who are the competitors of Fox, who Fox is kicking their butts in the ratings, said, no, this ain't going to happen. You can't do this. Now, if this had succeeded, I want you to pay attention here. If this had succeeded, and let's say the rest of the press corps agreed with this, it would have been a direct violation of the Constitution, freedom of the press. It also would have been a direct violation of the 14th and the 5th Amendment by way of the First Amendment. Now, what I want to ask you is, if you think that the White House is willing to violate the Constitution itself because of a news organization that does not agree with them, what else are they willing to violate the Constitution for? Do they see the Constitution as that frivolous that they can just throw it away? Because that's what they were willing to do here. I want you to think about that. Major Garrett, who works with Fox, got the interview with Feinstein, and everything went well. But I think the White House has shown its true colors, and the other networks now see that. This is scary. You have a lot of reason to be afraid here, folks, because if they can manipulate the press like this, what can they do on the internet? What can they do to us? I mean, I've never heard of such a demonstration of solidarity before, of all the press people getting together and saying, no, you're not going to do this. You cannot reject Fox for getting an interview because of their beliefs, because of what they do. They're a news network just like CBS, NBC, and NBC, and CNN, and NBC, and MS, and CNBC. There you go. It's scary what the White House is willing to do, and if you think that Fox is in with the White House, this is a clear demonstration of how much vitriol and hate this administration has for Fox. They are nowhere near the pocket of this administration. They're the devil. And when I get back, I'm going to talk about getting back to cigars, getting back to basics, what to look for in a cigar, ring sizes, and the flavor of cigars. What types are out there? We'll be right back.